Hello, everyone. Now, I often talk about people spending time in prison that are actually innocent, but they're convicted. And they're spending many, many years behind bars for a crime they didn't commit. And so that's why I always say that our judicial system really needs to be revamped. There is things that need to really change in the judicial system because there should not be as many people as we see, especially men, that are actually being exonerated years later, 20 years later, 25 years later, 40 years later, 45 years later. We see this over and over and over where men are being let out of prison for crimes they didn't commit. And then you have the people that made up the stories. They don't they don't get they don't get charged. They don't they don't go back and charge them with anything. They're living their lives freely. Then you have prosecutors in the system that know that a lot of times who they're charging is innocent and they shouldn't be charged, but they go along to get a conviction. And nothing is done to them either. Excuse me, they're not even held accountable. They're still going on practicing practicing law, prosecuting people, knowing that they did a grievous act, and they try to sit up and defend their actions when it comes down to, uh, you know, the person, the inmate that they, was able to get a conviction on. And sometimes, the juries are not always, you know, who they supposed to be. The scales are tilted and is not a fair jury. So, it just really never ceases to amaze me. Now, let's get into this story. There are brothers, it's two brothers, George and Melvin De Jesus, are out of prison after serving nearly 25 years for a crime they didn't commit. Walking out just with the feeling of vindication. It was great, George De Jesus told reporters in Michigan on Tuesday, shortly after he was released. According to CNN Detroit affiliate WDIV, this is the best day of my life. He said he hadn't seen his brother in roughly 24 years. The siblings were being held in separate correctional facilities, according to the Michigan Department of Corrections website. Now, I'm going to stop right there for a moment because when he says it's the best day of his life, it is as far as getting out and he's physically free. But there's going to be a lot that him and his brother are probably going to go through. They need a good support system because mentally you are still not free. There may need some therapy if you didn't get it in while you were incarcerated. When you get out, there's going to be a lot of stuff, barriers that you're going to have to, try to uh, break down. Hopefully that'll be removed from their records. That's a lot of stuff they should be able to do, but hopefully they will get the help to do it with like maybe the Innocent Project and some of these other organizations that help, men and women, especially men. You hear it a lot with men that have been, convicted and served time for crimes they did not commit. So hopefully they will have a good support system and they will have help in being able to restart their life. And there's a lot that they missed out in that 25 years. So it says they reunited and embraced, according to the affiliate. Melvin De Jesus said, "I'm ecstatic. I waited so long for this." Despite claims of alibis. Now, they had alibis, just like a lot of times black people too. And these are, I believe, Hispanic or Latino descent, but they had alibis. And a lot of times people do have alibis, but they still wind up with a conviction and charged and spending many years behind bars. Now, they were convicted in 1997 of murder and felony firearm in the 1995 killing of Margaret Midkiff, who was found dead in her Pontiac home. So that would be Pontiac, Michigan. And they were sentenced to life without parole. Life without parole. But officials moved to vacate those sentences after evidence was discovered in an investigation. Now, see, a lot of times the prosecution withholds evidence, and sometimes the police department suppresses evidence, and so it never makes it to where it needs to go because people get excited in the judicial system that are handling these things that we got somebody, we got them, we got somebody, and we want to appease the family. But we need to stop appeasing people and start doing our job and being honest up front because you took an oath to do the right thing. So the newly created Michigan Attorney General's Conviction Integrity Unit, CIU, worked with local authorities and Western Michigan University's Cooley Law School Innocence Project, which represented George DeJesus, and the University of Michigan Innocence Clinic, which represented Melvin DeJesus. 25 years of your life have been taken from you that cannot be replaced. Oakland County Circuit Court Judge Martha D. Anderson told the brothers, according to Cooley. Anderson set aside their convictions Tuesday during a Zoom hearing. Hopefully you will find some solace in the fact that you will be able to rejoin your family and start living a normal life outside the prison walls. And you know what? That's easier said than done. It almost sounds like a script when you say that because it's easier said than done. And to not even say, I'm so sorry that the justice system did not work in the way it's supposed to. When are they going to start? And I'm just not trying to throw shade or, come at this judge, but I'm saying, when are they going to be allowed, or when are they going to say, I'm sorry that the justice system, the judicial system did not work the way it's supposed to work? And what? Because you have prosecutors, it's just a sad situation for the prosecutors, for them to do what they do, suppress, withhold evidence. The police department is not fair. And then you come up and you say, oh, I hope you can find solace and you'll be able to, come on now. That's like a script. Because what about, I am so sorry that the judicial system did not work in on your behalf to do the work the way it was supposed to work. Because these are young men, or men, I say they were young when they went in, that have served 25 years, and they cannot get that back. They can't never get that back. So at the time of the killing, DNA linked someone else to the crime scene. Someone else. Brandon Gohagan, who initially told police the two brothers didn't have anything to do with the killing, according to a news release from Cooley Law School. There was no DNA or other evidence found that linked the DeJesus brothers to the crime scene, the release said. But Gohagan later told authorities Melvin DeJesus had forced him to sexually assault the victim and said that it was the brothers that lady bound and beat the victim to death, according to the release. Now, see right there, stop right there and take a breath. Because right there, why would they believe him? Now, he had told one story, now he goes back and tells another story. And usually what comes out, like in this case, he was telling the truth from the beginning. Then he went back and lied. He went back and lied because obviously he went back and lied and said he was forced to sexually assault somebody. How was you forced to do that? And how did they force you to do it? Okay, so Gohagan pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and first-degree criminal sexual conduct in exchange for testifying against the two, the release said. The brothers were convicted and sentenced in 1997. See, this is the interesting thing about when people become state witnesses and they turn federal informants or state witnesses, and all of a sudden they start telling these stories. Either they are lying or provoked or coerced into telling these stories that the prosecution will, tell them to do or coerce them. I'm not saying all prosecutors, but this stuff happens a lot. And so he went back and he said all that stuff in exchange for testifying against the two. And the brothers were convicted, and they never had anything to do with that crime. So about two decades later, in 2017, Gohagan was convicted of raping and killing another Pontiac woman a year before Midkiff's 1995 killing, according to a University of Michigan news release. And this is what I'm talking about, is how you have these convicts, these criminals, they let them out. They let them turn state witnesses. They lie on the stand. They lie to the prosecutors, or the prosecutors coerce them into saying lie, making up a story, and they get on the stand, and this is the story that they put out there for the jury to hear, for the judge to hear, and the family and people that are in the courtroom, watching this play out. And then, they let him out, they serve their time, like if he did get convicted, or they give him a plea deal where they get on probation and all that kind of stuff. And then, or they get bond, and then this is what you get. Look at what he did in 2017. This was 2 decades later. He was convicted of raping and killing another Pontiac woman a year before the other woman, Midkiff's 1995 killing. You see what I'm saying? So investigators discovered 12 other women who had been emotionally, physically, and sexually abused by Gohagan, the Michigan Attorney General's office said. As CIU looked into the brothers' case, it found evidence and impeached. That's what they should have did to who, number 5. Impeached Gohagan's credibility, including a witness who said Gohagan had implicated the brothers in exchange for a plea deal. And the prosecution know what they're doing when they do that. So CIU investigators also found witness statements that corroborated the brothers' alibi the night of Midkiff's killing. The siblings had said they were all at a party the night Gohagan said the crime occurred, and that the 3 of them went their separate ways after it, the Attorney General's office said. CNN has reached out to Gohagan's attorney. And so it goes on to say, we are thrilled to learn that our client Melvin De Jesus and his brother George will be fully exonerated for this murder some 26 years after the true killer framed the brothers for this heinous crime. He framed them, and the prosecutors went along with it. Dave Moran, co-director of the Michigan Innocent Clinic, said in a statement, we will now focus on helping Melvin De Jesus adjust to his freedom and move on with his life. George has steadfastly maintained that he had nothing to do with this terrible crime. Tracy Brain, director of the WMU Cooley Innocent Project, said in a separate statement, we are grateful to Attorney General Dana Nessel and the Conviction Integrity Unit team for their willingness to listen to the brothers and reinvestigate the case. The brothers' exonerations are the 3rd and 4th wrongful convictions overturned with the help of the CIU, the Attorney General's office said. The unit has so far received more than 1,600 requests for assistance, the office added. I appreciate the tireless work the unit put in to secure these exonerations for the De Jesus brothers, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said in a statement, calling the outcome another source of great pride for the CIU. I look forward to our continued collaboration with the Cooley Innocent Project and University of Michigan Innocent Clinic in our collective pursuit of providing justice to those wrongfully imprisoned, Nessel said. Exonerated prisoners are eligible up to a year of reentry housing and 2 years of other supportive services, including transportation and job assistance and training, according to the Attorney General's office. The state also passed the Wrongful Imprisonment Compensation Act in 2016, which aims to provide people exonerated of wrongful convictions with $50,000 for each year they were in prison, as well as some restitution for other expenses, including attorney fees, according to the Innocent Project. So if they're owed $50,000, let's go ahead and let's see what we get with that. $50,000 times 25. $1,250,000. So you know what? They are due some big money, and I pray that they will get all of their money. I do pray that they will get every bit of dime. And for every video I've done, for every article I've done on people that have been wrongly convicted and have released, I pray that they will get all of their money. Because in one of the states, there was a cap on one of the videos I did last year, and he was suing with his attorney to make sure he got his additional money because he served more than the time, and it was a cap, so they owed him even more money. And what's sad about this is that we keep seeing this over and over. And Gohagan, he needs to have the death penalty. He really, I don't promote that, but come on, you should probably be having the death penalty by now, because you took away this man's life and you were going around killing people and raping women and doing all of that. You should have the death penalty. You took a life when you didn't have to take a life, So you probably should get the death penalty. But I don't believe Detroit has the death penalty, but I know Texas still has it. They have the death penalty. So he probably has going to be getting life in prison. But I hope he never gets out if that's the case, because he's going to rape again. He's going to murder again. This is a cold-blooded murderer out there. And these two brothers served 25 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. So let's get on into, of course, the disclaimer. But first, I want to thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please leave your respectful comments below. Now, the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So again, thank you for supporting my channel. And like I said, head over to my Instagram. You can look at some of the work that I do with creating jewelry. I truly will appreciate that. It means a lot to me to create beautiful things for beautiful people. So God bless you all on today. Bye.